And we're their slaves.
What do you do about
we're
that?
their robots.
Is that your question? What do you do about those in control
That is my question.
that run everything?
What's the answer?
Here's what we do about it. The automobile industry failed. It closed down, and you can't sell the factory anymore. It goes into the hands of the government. The banks failed during the Depression. We bailed them out. If you don't bail them out, this time they bailed them out, but it's not going to work out. It's going to continue downhill. More and more unemployed. Obama doesn't know how to solve problems. He may be sincere, but he doesn't know what to do. So as things go downhill, industry, one after the other, will fail. Meaning, a friend of mine owned an aircraft factory. This is true. The name was Berlin and Joyce. And the government came and said, we're taking over your factory. This is during the Depression. He said, why? Because you haven't paid taxes on your damn equipment in 3 years. He said, I had no orders for airplanes in the Depression. Take the goddamn factory. Don't you see? If you make computers and she comes up with a chip 10 times as fast as yours, you can't even sell your production equipment anymore. It's obsolete. So I'm saying we're in a new kind of time where things are moving much faster and there's no adjustment. Politicians, which is an old system, our language was designed hundreds of years ago, so we can't talk to each other anymore. We talk at each other. We say, have a nice weekend. Why don't you say, have a nice life? Why just a weekend? Where do you get all that crap from? You get it from the society you're raised in. Kids are competitive because they have to run faster, be on a team that outpaces another, and I never worked that way. I shared my ideas with others, and the smarter other people became, the richer my life. The smarter your kids, the richer our lives. Every kid shooting up drugs, hanging out in gangs. You know where kids hang out today? In malls. There should be art centers, music centers, cultural centers for kids. Because the higher the quality of the kids, the richer the life of the nation.
You know, technology is racing forward, and it's cheaper today for industry to automate. There's no air conditioning, no people that you have to pay, no salaries, no insurance that you have to pay. It's even becoming cheaper to automate than to outsource today. There are many factories at almost 100% automation. So as soon as there are more people who automate, and they have to stay ahead of the competitive edge, then that means that people will not have jobs and they will not have purchasing power to buy the goods turned out. That alone, with many other scenarios, is the end of the free enterprise system, the monetary system.
These are all wonderful ideas, but you still haven't explained how you defeat this Illuminati, which you believe in.
Yes, I think it exists.
So how do you defeat them? Because they don't want your new world order, they want their new world order.
All right, whatever they do will not work, the Illuminati, because their ideas, if you don't update your factory methods, you go out of business. If you're a nice guy and you own a factory and you don't like minimum wage, and he pays his help $10 an hour rather than $5.60, then he builds a playground for the children of the women that work in his plant. He's a nice guy. Nobody's going to invest in your plant because they want the bottom line going up.
Well,
that's where they invest.
have succeeded with that
kind of philosophy. So if you're a nice guy, you won't succeed. If you're a son of a bitch, you will. And you'll succeed in the monetary system, but you will have to outpace other companies. If you can put in, you know what industrial spies are? Like Douglas Aircraft puts people in Northrop, they pay them to see what Northrop is doing. And if you don't outpace them, come out with cheaper planes, better built, you go out of business. So the giants are getting larger, the small businesses are folding and automating, and they themselves will go out of business due to the fact that they're not operating in accordance with natural law. Now here's what I mean by that. Man makes all kinds of laws and signs treaties with other nations. We violate most of the treaties we sign. So do other nations. If it doesn't suit their interests, they will violate it. The Bible says thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say some people. It says thou shalt not kill. Jesus chased the money changers out of the temple. They're all back in now. And people say to me, you're trying to make the world a better place. My world is up there. And I said, you forgot the Lord's Prayer. Jesus said, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. There's no business in heaven, no private property, no money, no banks. You understand? They don't even understand what they're reading. They're uneducated people and don't know how to assimilate. So they give people intelligence tests to see how intelligent they are. There's no such thing as intelligence. An electrical engineer of 75 years ago couldn't get a job today. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
He was intelligent then. There's no such thing as a civilized nation. No nation is civilized as long as you have war, crime, prisons, police. When people are properly educated, you find that we learn gradually. There's no fixed final frontiers. Everything changes. And we prepare people for social change continuously. That's why they don't say Fresco cities is the best. That's an ego thing. I don't care. If you come along with a better design for a city, I get the hell out of the way because you can make my life better. You see, ego is when you cling and say, hey, I'm the president of this organization and I'm proud of it. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. So you see, what I want, it isn't what I want, it's what I've been working on for years to try to eliminate ego problems, to try to talk to architects about safety, elevator, fireproof buildings, and if I die, great if you carry that out. I don't give a hoot about a medal or a medal for doing certain social things.
Jack, I'm just going to read out one quick text and then we're going to go for the break. I wish I had your hope and I'm 40 tomorrow. I don't know who that's from. Right, we're going to go for our break now. Once again, if you'd like to text in your questions or comments to Jacque Fresco and Roxanne Meadows, please do so now. Just text 87778 with the word EDGE and then your text. See you very soon. Welcome back to On the Edge with me, Theo Chalmers, and my special guests, Jacque Fresco and Roxanne Meadows. Just before the break then, we were talking about how it might work, but I still don't really have a great understanding of what exactly is the Venus Project.
Okay. The Venus Project is an approach to the problems we have today and a possible solution. What the Venus Project really says, if you don't want war, if you don't want crime, if you don't want sneak attacks, if you don't want highway robbery, serial killers, what you must do, if you don't want those things, is declare the earth the common heritage of all the world's people and take away all the artificial boundaries that separate people and share the resources of the earth. What is needed is the intelligent management of the earth's resources. But when few nations control the water or control the energy or control the resources of the world, there's always going to be invasions, troubles, wars, depressions, unless you do these things. You don't have to agree with me. Think about it and see if you can find fault with it. I'd be happy to learn how to make it better. And I'd be happy if you have constructive criticism. But if you say that'll never work, that doesn't tell me anything. When a teacher says that's wrong, it doesn't tell children anything.
So would it be an end to country, states, you know, cities?
Yes. Yes. If you don't do that, you're going to have trouble over and over again. Wars are getting worse. Universities are better equipped than ever today. And the wars are getting worse, the bombs are getting worse. We have 300 submarines in America. Each one has more destructive power than all the wars in history. Now, what the hell can you accomplish with that? You have to be extremely stupid, naive, to build that sort of thing that'll wipe out everybody on Earth.
Well, maybe there are other motives for building it. You know, maybe it's about profit. Maybe it's about controlling the planet.
Well,
maybe America's...
I know what it's about. It's about that. Trying to get the resources. Where do you think Americans got America? They stole it from the Indians, the Mexicans, the Spaniards. After they stole all the land they need, they put up the sign, thou shalt not steal.
Well, they bought some of it from the French. That's the same for Britain.
They said the sun never sets on Britain. Where the hell did they get all that land? They took it by slaughter and killing.
Well, hold on, they bought some of it from the French. They bought some more of it from the Russians.
Most nations are corrupt. All of them are corrupt, not some of them.
I have no doubt that's also the case.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying abolish all countries, one world government.
I'm not saying that.
One world government?
I'm not saying that. I said we're putting out the Venus Project as a possible alternative. If the world people decide to join, we will share resources. If some nations won't, they won't decide to join. So they don't get the benefit of this total global system.
Okay, well, Sue in Cornwall says, when will Venus be built?
That depends on how much work you do, and if you like the Venus Project, how much work you do, and what people do. Roxanne and I have no power at all. We merely submit a possible alternative. It's up to people to say, I don't think it'll work, and it won't work then.
Jacque,
If people identify with us, then go to our website, thevenusproject.com, the Zeitgeist Movement, the UK project, where we're gathering all of the scientists and technologists who want to help, all the CAD and animation people.
There's a website called www.thezeitgeistmovementuk.com. That's one of the main ones, isn't it?
And the zeitgeistmovement.com and thevenusproject.com. The Zeitgeist Movement is the activist arm of the Venus Project.
Jacque, you're 93. I hope you don't mind me saying that, since I said it in the intro, and I know you don't mind saying it. Do you think you'll see this in your lifetime?
I don't think about that at all. I do the best I can to try to make it possible. If people don't recognize it, I've done all I know how to do. I have no, I'm not psychic. I just deal with probability. The probability is that we'll kill each other, that we will not achieve that, because the rate of damage is increasing. We're polluting the oceans, fish are dying, whales are dying, the atmosphere is being poisoned, the water table is rising up, and the rate of damage is so fast that we don't have enough time to wait for people to become smart. We want to make motion pictures to help people understand not what Fresco likes, but what the conditions are today. It isn't me that's saying I want to control people. I don't. No. But I've taken a lot of time out. You know, I'm 93 years old, and all I do is work on problem solving, not pointing out this guy's a crook and that system isn't working. What do you do about it? That's all the Venus Project is about. Making airplanes safer, cars safer, education for everyone, whether you got money or not, medical care from birth to death, doctors that are brought up to feel good because they see the end of poverty, hunger, slums, not a doctor that works for money. I don't trust those guys.
I've got to say, a lot of texts we're getting in are very positive about you. I mean, a lot of people are inspired by you.
It's always been positive.
Since the Zeitgeist
movement... a lot of people
movement,
are thanking you. Sorry.
Yes, excuse me. Since the Zeitgeist addendum introduced this direction to the world, we have a lot of people out there who are working towards it in every way that they can.
How
can people, if people want to support your dream?
They invited us to China to talk about the Venus Project, for me to design new cities, new buildings, everything. That's why. So Roxanne and I went to China. They gave us return tickets and they treated us with the red carpet and all that. Mm-hmm. And then we found out that I was supposed to speak to 1,500 students in their universities. It never came off, because the guy that invited us out there ran away with the money. Instead of giving people return tickets, they caught him in Las Vegas. So I never got a chance. Then they invited us to Iceland to tell what the Venus Project is. They gave me 7 minutes.
This is not happening now, though. People are asking Jacque to speak all over the world.
Well, you've just been to Copenhagen, haven't you?
That's right. We just came from a very large lecture in Copenhagen. Jacque is asked to speak in many universities all over the world.
And Saturday, this weekend, he's speaking at the City University in London.
That's right.
Two lectures.
Two times. You can go onto our... Well, actually, all the tickets are all sold out for both lectures. Okay. After this, we go to Mexico in a couple of weeks, where he's doing another keynote lecture, and he's getting an International Design Award for 2009. And then we're off to El Salvador for a 2-day seminar.